But our buddy Andy McCarthy, dear friend of mine, points out something in National View Online today that I didn't remember, and that you need to be reminded about, as I did. He says, I recounted in a column late last year, in 2009, that John Kerry, then the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and a staunch Obama ally, told the Financial Times, listen to this, that it was ridiculous, quote unquote, to claim Iran did not have a right to enrich uranium. Now stop right there. So 6 years ago, John Kerry told the Financial Times it was ridiculous to say that Iran shouldn't have a right to enrich uranium. Now, this is the Secretary of State that Obama appointed who's been negotiating these issues with the Islamo-Nazi regime in Tehran. This is his mindset. So he was an appeaser from the word go. It's ridiculous to say that they can't have uranium, enriched uranium, which is used for what? Raise your hand. Anybody know? Well, among other things, to make nuclear weapons. At the time, he writes, it was the official position of the United States and our allies that the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, does not endow member states with a right to enrich uranium or to any other path to nuclear power, though it does provide the states have an inalienable right to the peaceful use of nuclear power. That long-standing policy had been forcefully advocated by the administration of George W. Bush, who defeated Kerry in the 2004 presidential election. And yet, during the early days of the Obama presidency and of election turmoil in Iran that would soon have the jihadist regime shooting protesters in the street, Kerry countered that the NPT clearly endowed Iran with a right to enrich uranium. Here's how the Financial Times reported it at the time. Quote, the Bush administration argument of no enrichment was ridiculous, they're quoting Kerry, because it seemed so unreasonable to people, said Mr. Kerry, setting Iran's rights as a signatory of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Quote, it was bombastic diplomacy. It was wasted energy. It sort of hardened the lines, if you will. They have a right to peaceful nuclear power and to enrichment in that purpose. The damn fool. Like the Islamo-Nazi regime wanted to enrich uranium to heat their homes. A recent memory report indicates that according to senior Iranian officials, beginning in 2011, secret communications by then Secretary Kerry. Kerry's good at these secret communications with these fascist, communist, Islamo regimes. Remember he had secret communications with the communists in Vietnam? Remember his ilk had secret communications with the communists in Nicaragua? Secret communications with the Cuban police state? Oh, they're really into these secret communications. Remember Ted Kennedy? Secret communications with Moscow and the Kremlin? Don't worry about Reagan. He's going to lose. Don't worry. Those policies won't stand. Undermining America every damn step of the way, because that's what the left does, elected or not. So beginning in 2011, Kerry had secret communications as a senator, as did the Obama administration officials, including Obama himself, signaled to the regime in Tehran the U.S. government was prepared to concede an Iranian right to enriched uranium. Recognition of this right, so-called, had been a non-negotiable demand by the regime. Obama's winking concession to it, presaged by a letter from Senator Kerry to the regime, explicitly recognizing, quote, Iran's rights regarding the enrichment cycle, unquote, is what brought the regime to the bargaining table, according to the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme subhuman cockroach, may I say. Such a concession would be reckless, not just because of what ought to be the unacceptable prospect of the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism enriching uranium, a process that can lead to weapons-grade nuclear energy. And it goes on. But I had forgotten about that, and I think that's mighty important. Kerry didn't go into these negotiations to stop the Islamo-Nazis from creating the instrumentalities, the technologies, acquiring the materials necessary to make nuclear warheads. He went into it allowing them to gain access to most of this, but to put it off for a period of time so it doesn't fall in Obama's lap, and then runs around pretending that anybody who questions him or this deal wants war.